of the maverick, the pro, the hero, the gutsy, the grown-ups, the honest. Give me the ones with fire in their bellies. Those I can take and cheer nonstop.
Last week, the former host of The Daily Show, Jon Stewart, joined 9/11 first responders as they went door to door in Congress trying to drum up support for legislation that helps the first responders who got sick after helping in the rescue and cleanup effort after 9/11. They visited lots of lawmakers' offices who have not yet backed that bill. Mr. Stewart said that instead of face-to-face meetings with lawmakers, mostly what they got were business cards. One of those first responders doing that round by round of all the offices that day says he took those business cards and threw them in the trash. Here's part of how he explained why.
Oh, jeez. Can you show those? In the beginning, I started. Right. Oh, for God's sakes. Those guys.
So what are we looking at here? Where are these cards from?
You just knocked them these cards got his coat. All the guys that were killed in firemen that went to the services. So all the guys. So when you go to the service, you would have a card of of the guy that was killed. And these are all 12 guys from my firehouse were killed, and then the rest were in my battalion and guys I knew that I worked with over the years, chief of department, Gansey and stuff. So these come with me wherever I go. Those guys. So always, you get to stage 4 cancer, you don't complain. I got 14 more years of my friends. They're all here. So every once in a while you look at them and put in realistic terms of what's going on in life.
Right. Perspective. Meanwhile, we're picking up business cards from these guys.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we're picking up business cards. What you saw there were the prayer cards that FDNY veteran Ray Pfeiffer has collected after attending the wakes of first responders who died both on 9/11 and in the years since. At this point, he says he has about 50 of them, and the stack keeps growing. Since this past 9/11 anniversary alone, 19 first responders have died from 9/11 related illnesses, 19 in the last 3 months. So the 9/11 Healthcare and Compensation Act was first passed in 2010, thanks in large part to Jon Stewart shaming members of Congress into supporting it. But much of that law expired in October, and the rest is going to expire next year unless Congress acts. So far, Congress has not acted. It was widely expected that the 9/11 bill would be included in this month's transportation bill, but Senator Mitch McConnell stripped it out of that legislation. Now there are rumblings that it could be included in a comprehensive spending bill that's expected to come up next week. This is a bill that, if they pass it, it would permanently extend these health benefits for first responders so they stop having to go to Capitol Hill begging every few years. Well, tonight we reached out to Speaker Paul Ryan's office for confirmation as to whether or not this thing is ever going to get a freaking vote. A member of his office responded with this, quote, Speaker Ryan has committed to reauthorize the program and he will keep his word. We expect it will be included in one of the year-end legislative items. We have not stated what vehicle at this point, but it'll get done. It's not that this thing doesn't have support. You need 218 votes to pass something in the House. This has 266 co-sponsors, 75 of whom are Republican. It only needs to get brought up for a vote. It just needs to be the leadership saying, let's vote on it. In the meantime, people like Ray Pfeiffer are still collecting prayer cards, waiting for Congress to act. Joining us now is Dan Moynihan, 9/11 first responder, and along with others, he's been trying to get this bill passed. Dan, thank you for coming tonight.
Thank you again for having me on.
Yeah. So we got this statement from Paul Ryan saying, it'll happen. We give our word. We've committed to doing it. We're not saying how we're doing it yet.
Right.
How does that make you feel?
Well, the leadership has made promises to attach this bill to whatever is moving at the end of the year. I do take them at their word. I feel like we are very, very close. Mm-hmm. I do think that we're going to get this done. I feel like we're so super close, and I do think that Ryan and McConnell will inevitably get this done. The problem is I do then get reports that there are staffers on one of the committees that they're rewording things in a new bill that tries to take money out of the bill. Then there's another staffer that rewords, they're putting another bill out that tries to get this remove the name of the hero police officer who died of World Trade Center-related illnesses.
Take Zadroga off the name.
Take police officer James Zadroga off the name of the bill.
Why would that be important to somebody?
God only knows, but this is the kind of stuff that is now being, yes.
Dan, do you understand why they took it off the highway bill? They knew they were going to pass a highway bill, which itself was a congressional miracle. They knew they were going to. It was part of that.
Right. It was supposed to be on the transportation bill last Tuesday, which was then voted on and signed into law by the president.
And they took it out.
They took it off.
Do we know why?
I am led to understand that it was because of Senator McConnell that he took it out of the bill.
So at this point, you have confidence in the word from Speaker Ryan. You think it's going to get done. It's not done yet.
Speaker Ryan and Senator McConnell now said that it will definitely be in the bill. In the omnibus bill or one of the other vehicles at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. We have 266 co-sponsors in the House. There should be 435 co-sponsors in the House. There are 67 co-sponsors in the Senate. There should be 100 co-sponsors in the Senate. There are word of, well, how, when we got taken out of the transportation bill, our pay-for got stolen. And everybody's like, well, what's your pay for? How are we going to have? There should be people falling over themselves to have a pay for, a new pay for. There should be a standalone up and down vote for this bill. People should be falling over themselves, since this is people from 433 out of 435 congressional districts responded to this city. It also covers people from the Pentagon and Shanksville, Pennsylvania, to vote for this bill. And yet, this is the stuff that we're dealing with. And Ray Pfeiffer, who we saw in that video, I spoke with this afternoon. And, when we go through the metal detectors, we make all these, people ask me, how do you make all these meetings back and forth and going back and forth to DC? Ray Pfeiffer sets off every metal detector because when we go down there, his cancer has metastasized to a hip. He had that replaced. Metastasized to a shoulder, had that replaced. Metastasized to 2 ribs. And the guy is half metal now. He's like a bionic man.
And he has to spend all his time fighting for this.
Right. And this is what happens. And then on the other side, we have phenomenal advocates like Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans America who fight for us. And I know I mentioned him last time I was on the show, but he's back in the Hill now. He's recovering from cancer himself, but Congressman Mark Takai from the Hawaii First, who's made sure he's back in the district now to vote for our bill when it comes to and these are the amazing people who do go and fight for us. So out of all the mess that's down there, we do have amazing people like yourself as well who make sure we get airtime. Jon Stewart, who makes sure that we get airtime to make sure this bill passed.
It's amazing the fight is this hard. Dan Moynihan, 9/11 first responder. Hope to have you back as soon as it passes.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.